Hey, everybody.
Howdy.
It's good to be with you. Thanks for joining us for these live stream reviews. We have several coming up from all over, different languages, different styles. I'm excited about this as always. And you may be wondering how to get your live stream reviewed. This is something that we do for our course students, which we have over 13,000 course students now from 7,500 different churches in 53 different countries.
Dang. That's crazy.
It is crazy, and it's amazing all at the same time. It's such an honor to help you guys create great sound. We're dedicated to making it easy to create great sound and also making it easy to look great. Dylan's the head of all the looksies, and I'm the head of all the hearies.
Looksies and hearies.
All right, before we make any more bad jokes, let's just go ahead and jump into these live stream reviews. First up, we have Joseph Young from Norwich Tabernacle. He's wanting to create a proper in-house mix. He needs a better balanced mix for the internet as well, which good news is those things go hand in hand. When you have a great mix in the room and your room's EQ'd, then it's really easy to make a great live stream mix as well from a bus mix that pretty much mimics what your room sounds like. So let's go ahead and take a listen and see what we can do to help you go forward.
I give myself away. Oh, I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. Oh, I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away.
I'm liking it. Those audience mics sound good. It's good to hear what's going on in the room. Her voice was sounding really good.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the
I'm
Lord.
so happy for another
I'm going to scrub forward a little bit here.
Says heaven to me.
Oh, look, she switched over to the drums.
Hey,
Hey.
multifaceted.
I picked the perfect part.
Let those people looking. Sorry, I'm a human man.
And now the Collaborate Worship audience looking at you too, man.
It was going good too. I was feeling.
All right, I'll scrub forward.
I feel that.
Presence, heaven to me. Your presence is heaven to me.
All right, your stream's sounding good. One thing I noticed when the girl was singing, her mic was sounding a little peaked out, so you may look at the gain levels on her mic, make sure she's not going into the red. And if it's not happening on the channel itself, it may be happening on the overall live stream mix, so you'll want to check there. Wherever it's going red, you need to make an adjustment there so we're not hitting the red, because red means peaking and distortion, and we don't want that. I also noticed on the piano, I think it could use some reverb to make it blend better with everything else going on. Right now, it just sounds kind of like very focused and digital compared to all the other signals that are coming in. You may also want to check and see if you're running it in stereo, because that can make a big difference as well. All keyboards have a left and a right output. For whatever reason, it's one of those instruments that just sounds way better in stereo. So it's worth the extra cable and the extra direct box and the extra channel on your mixer to run keyboards in stereo. And then add a little reverb to that keyboard. It's going to make the whole thing sound better. But other than that, I'm liking the way that this is sounding. What do you think, Dylan?
I like the way it looks. The only thing I'm really noticing is that there's a lot of yellow going on, but I think that's just, the color of your room. And then you got like some wood in the background there, but the skin tones, they look good. I would say it might be a little bit on the green side as far as tint is concerned. So maybe adjusting that tint a little bit would help balance that out. But can you go to a different shot?
Sure can.
So our white balance and our exposure is pretty consistent between them. Loving that. It looked like a PTZ camera a second ago because I saw a pan and then a zoom, and it kind of looked like that. So if it is a PTZ, it's looking pretty good for a PTZ. I'm kind of impressed.
PTZ.
I think you guys are doing good visually. I don't really have anything to recommend.
Awesome. Great work.
Great job.
Thanks for sending that in. We're going to go ahead and carry on to the next one, which is from David. from Comunidad Celebracion. All right, let's take a listen. Do my best at speaking Spanish. Was it not very good?
No, you sound really white. I guess because you are.
Yep.
Necesita poner el corazón. Tienes que estar consciente de lo que estás poniendo, saber que donde están tus labios, ahí está tu corazón.
So this is where you linked me to, so I guess you're wanting me to listen to the sermon.
Saber que donde está tu canto, ahí está tu corazón.
His mic sounds really
Saber que
good.
donde está tu servicio, ahí está tu corazón. Yo no sé cómo prefieres vestirte, pero lo que tengas por fuera,
Little bright.
Dios va a ir transformándolo por lo que tú tienes adentro. ¿Usted me escuchó esta mañana? Porque es fácil juzgar a una persona por fuera.
There's a lot of
Porque es lo que
echo on his mic from the room mics, I think is what I'm hearing. But then when the audience is responding, I like the volume of the audience mics because you can really hear what they're saying. One trick that you can use is you can apply compression to the audience mics based on the pastor's mic. You'll use the pastor's mic as a key source. So that way, I think you'd actually turn it into an expander instead of a compressor when you do it this way. I've not done this, but it's something that I've been thinking about. If you use the pastor's mic as a key source for the compressor or expander on the audience mics, what it'll do is it'll bring it down when the pastor's talking. That way you don't get so much echo whenever he's talking, but then it'll let it open whenever he's not talking so that you can hear the response of the audience. So you may try that and see if you get a better sound that way. Other than that, his mic sounds good. Dylan said it sounded a little bright, which I agree. A little bit on the bright side. You may be able to compress him just a little bit more. I was kind of like riding the fader a little bit here because he kind of get too loud and then he wasn't too loud. So yeah, add a little more compression to him because I think that'll kind of bring the brightness down and give you a little more control on the live stream. And really what I'm talking about specifically is adjusting the threshold on his compressor to bring more control there. And let me go forward here and see if I can find some music, or let me look backwards too.
I think I have to go to a different stream.
Dun, 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 dun. I see some musicians hitting the stage here.
que nos dijeron, si no es así, no hay salvación. Si no tienes esto, no eres. No recuerdo bien exactamente cómo fue.
Mi ser.
Santo eres, Señor.
Hoy entiendo la palabra y quiero ponerla por obra. Hoy me llevo esta palabra para mi casa, para practicarla en mi hogar, con mis hijos, con mi esposa, en mi vida.
Engañar.
Well, it sounds like your
Levante su mano. El
band
Señor te
sounds
bendiga,
awesome.
te guarde. En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo, del Espíritu Santo de Dios.
Let me see if I can
lleno.
find a different stream here where you got some music. Streamed 2 days ago. Must have been on Sunday. Here we go.
Vamos con las palmas así. Vamos a ver cuántos varones hay esta mañana aquí. Solo hombres, dice. Porque tu hijo soy.
Sounds good.
Very good.
Que tu hija soy.
Nos están ganando, dice. Si tu hijo soy.
Vamos fuerte. Que tu hija soy.
Vamos, dile todos juntos, dice. Que tu hijo soy.
Well, 100%, man. Sounds great.
It's awesome.
Yep. Keep doing what you're doing. Very, very good. Oh, what do you think about visuals, Dylan?
Visually, it looks really good too. I would just say watch out for, I saw some overexposed skin tones in a couple of the shots. So just watch the exposure. Like maybe that one, her arm looked a little blown out on the highlights. And then the skin tones might be a little bit orange, but it's really not that bad. Maybe if that's like you like it pretty saturated, that's cool. I would probably dial back the saturation a little bit, maybe even the contrast for my taste, but I don't think it's anything to complain about. So great job.
Nice. Very, very good. All right. Next up, somebody sent us Rahija Joan from Martoma Church of South Florida. We don't have a live stream, but we just changed the speakers, so we wanted to make sure we mix it correctly. Don't know how to help you. We can't. We can't come to Florida. We're in Oklahoma. So yeah. Curious why you don't live stream. I didn't like to live stream either, and then COVID kind of made us. And now I'm glad we did, because the message goes a lot further now.
Maybe send us a recording from your X32 or something that we can review.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like a 2-track recording.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
Using a Persona Studio Live, so it probably has recording capabilities as well. So
Surely.
you could record just a 2-track mix for us, and we could listen to it that way. Record your main mix, and then you could send that in. All right, so we'll move along to Mike, assuming we don't have any questions we need to answer. Okay. Mike from Journey Christian Church wants even volume clarity. Unsure of the quality perceived by the average listener. Using Behringer Wing. Let's take a listen.
We are standing right here in your presence as you stand with us. Yeah, you never cease to amaze us. All of the praises, Lord, they belong to you. Yeah, Jesus, receive all the glory, take all the credit.
I can hear a good mix in here, but we have some problems going on. I think with the configuration of the live stream, probably. It's mainly coming through my right side, so we have a problem there. It's kind of peeking out and doing weird things. It's almost like you're running it through Zoom or something like that, and it's trying to compress the audio for you. So I need you to send us some information on how your mixer is connected, how your Behringer Wing is connected to your live stream. Everybody has a little bit different setup, so it's hard to give you advice right here. But if you can you go in Slack and let us know in the questions channel there what your setup looks like, and then we can diagnose from there. You may even want to schedule a coaching call with us, and then we can just walk you through it one-on-one that way. So, yeah. What do you think visually, Dylan?
Look at it. I wasn't thinking visually for a second there. I think the white balance could use a little more fine tuning. Our skin tones are looking a little purplish. Your exposure looks good though. I like the framing. I would say try not to have people halfway cut off out of the frame, like the lady there at the left side. Either zoom in or zoom out to where she's out of it or in it. Was it just the two angles? I didn't really see another one.
I think so. Yep.
It looks good. Your exposure's good. I like the background. It looks pretty cool. Just maybe work on the magenta tones in your skin tones a little bit, and I think it'll be perfect. Great job.
Awesome. Yeah, so send us those details. We'll walk you through how to make sure that your good mix is sounding good online too. There's just some configuration problems going on there, I assume. All right, so next up is Tim with Hope Fellowship. Wants consistency between room and online, and also consistency between different sound techs. Let's take a listen.
Rejoice, rejoice, let everything that has breath, because you are worthy, God, you are mighty, Lord, you are awesome and holy and great. Rejoice, rejoice, let everything that has breath. And again I say, rejoice, rejoice. And again I say, rejoice.
All right. I think the thing that can make the biggest difference in your mix here is getting some ambience added into the mix. I'm talking about reverb. That's the easiest place to start. Add some reverb to the mix. If you're using reverb in your room, you can use the same reverb online. Let me see what mixer you said you were using. 1 second. So you're using the X32. So if you have reverb that you're using in your room, what you'll do is you'll hit Sends on Fader, select your live stream bus, navigate to your effects returns, and you'll turn those up in the live stream, and you can kind of determine how much reverb you want in the live stream. It's best to turn it up until you can hear it, then dial it back until it blends in with the mix. And if you want more detail on how to do that, go into the courses, go to the reverb videos, and it'll walk you through how to do that, specifically in the live stream Made Simple course. There's a video in there that'll walk you through reverb. There's also a video in there that'll walk you through adding audience mics or room mics to your live stream as well, which would be the step after that, just to make your live stream come alive. Because right now it's sounding just kind of like really dry and dead because we're not hearing any of the bounce around in the audience and things like that. So those two things just bring some life to the mix. So I would start there. That's your number one thing. There's some other things that I could comment on, but I'm going to wait because I don't want to overwhelm you. Let's get the reverb added first and then resubmit your live stream, and we'll go take it to the next level next month.
Next month.
What do you think about visuals, Dylan?
Our 2 camera angles, I only saw the 2, I think, but they're not very evenly matched. The white balance is off, and so is the exposure. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're probably different cameras, which I know is very challenging. So I would just try to hop in there and see if you can get those to look closer. But they really don't look awful. This one is just, it's a little overexposed, and the skin tones are a little off. The other one was looking better. That one might be a little bit on the cool side. So let's just see if we can get those matching better, and I think you'll have 2 great angles. I would also say they're both zoomed in about the same amount. So see if you can get some like different framing between those two so there's a little more variety besides just going left and right. But great job.
You have a great thing going here. So we're just giving you tips on how to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for sending that in. We look forward to helping you move forward as time goes on. Just one step at a time, right? All right, next up, this one's from JD from Alto Refugio, High Refuge. He gave me the English translation. Thank you for that. Too much feedback. Doesn't sound like a hall. Okay, let's take a listen so I can see what you're talking about here.
Señor, yo no veo telenovelas, pues. Y entonces, ¿qué hago yo aquí? Y entonces me inventaba algo. Fíjese que voy a hablar con mi esposa. Hermano. Sí, hermano, pase. Y me iba a la habitación, ¿verdad?
Pastor's mic sounds good.
Y le llamaba a mi esposa.
No one seems to know this, but Amazon actually has
we're gonna watch an ad real quick. Guess I forgot to switch to my YouTube Premium account.
Man, got a whole string section going on.
There's a little bit too much like ambience going on here, which is just kind of like, we're just not getting enough direct sound in this mix, except from like one violin. I'm hearing like one violin very direct, but everything else just sounds very kind of like off in the distance, not getting a lot of clarity from it. So I would start by dialing back your audience mics quite a bit and get that direct sound dialed in, and then blend in your audience mics back in. I'd actually just turn them off and then get a great mix, and then bring your audience mics back up to kind of fill in the gaps. Because right now it's kind of like audience mics are taking over the mix, so it's hard to hear what's underneath going on. And you also have a lot of mics going on with that string section, which is probably presenting a challenge as well. I'm kind of wondering if it might sound better just to have a couple of mics over your string section so they pick up more as an ensemble instead of like all your individual mics. That's something that I would try if the audience mic solution doesn't fix the problem of it just sounding too kind of jumbled together. You may just have too many open mics. Let me listen again. I don't see any audience mics, so if what I'm hearing is just, it may just be those string mics picking up the room. So if that's the case, we need to just mic those strings better. And I also see that your vocalists are standing really far away from their microphones. They're about a foot away, if not more. So we need to teach them some mic etiquette as well. Your vocalists should be singing right up on the mic. Like the microphone should be no more than an inch from their mouth. So that's going to help clean up your sound as well. Maybe we can get those mics brought in closer to the strings so that you don't have to have them as open. The further away a mic is from the source, the more of the ambient noise that it's going to pick up and add to your mix. So that's why we want it so close to the source. So vocalists need to be right up on it. Strings need to be right up on it. And yeah, that's going to make your mix sound a lot better. Just getting those microphones. Start with those vocalists. Get them singing right into the mic. And this is going to be a hard habit to break. But you can do it. Just keep on them. Get up on that mic. Get up on that mic.
Visually, it looks good. With the different kinds of lighting you have going on, I'm kind of impressed with how good it does look. The camera's doing a good job of rendering good skin tones and such. I can't remember how many angles I saw. Maybe it was a couple. The only thing that I saw that I would recommend is getting that tripod that's up front out of the shot, like right in front of the pastor, I'm assuming that is. I couldn't even tell if there was actually a camera on it or not, but it being right in the way is a little distracting, even if it's like showing something. I don't know. There might just be a better way to do that.
It looks like they're just using phones.
So,
I mean, phones can't really zoom. That must be why they have it so close.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find that close shot here.
Yep.
It's probably this one.
Well, I mean, at least that looks good.
Phones are great cameras whenever you have them
Yeah.
right up on them and have enough light.
True that.
But the zooming is when it becomes a problem, huh? Because you want to have that camera in the back of the room, and phone's not going to be able to do that.
Well, I guess if it doesn't bother you, then no big.
Yep.
At least you got that close angle.
Yep, looks good.
Very nice.
Thanks for sending that in. Make those changes with the mics, and then let's look at it again and listen to it again. See how it sounds different. All right, so next up, Constantine from Christ Grace Centered Fellowship.
Man, y'all are quiet in the comments. You guys alive there? Is anybody there?
Here we go.
Your sovereign hand will be my guide. Where feet may fail and fear surrounds me, you've never failed, and you won't start now. And I will call upon your name, Lord, and keep my eyes above the waves.
You have a good thing going. You have a lot of vocalists to work with. So they're kind of fighting with each other a little bit because so many different people are singing the same thing. One thing that I would try is panning your vocalists in the live stream mix. So like for the ones that are on the left of the stage, pan them a little bit to the left. The ones on the right, pan them a little bit to the right, but keep your lead vocal in the center. That's going to help bring some separation between the vocals. And I also bring them down just a little bit in the mix so they're not really competing with the lead vocal. You want to keep your lead vocal like at the top of your mix and your background vocals more blended in with the instrumental part of your mix. So like I could use some more of the acoustic guitar. I wasn't really hearing that. The bass guitar was sounding a little bit strange to me, like there wasn't a lot of sustain to it. It's almost like you just hear the attack and that's all. So it's like, is there a gate on your bass guitar that's making it sound like that? If you're gating your bass guitar, I would just turn the gate off. You shouldn't need a gate on your bass guitar. I'd also look at the compression on your bass guitar, see what's going on there. There's just some improvement that could go on with your bass guitar. And by sustain, I mean like he should hit a note and it should just kind of like carry through. And right now it's just like a boing, and then it kind of disappears. So figure out what's going on there. Like we want to hear that bass note carry through the phrase. It'll make a big difference. Let me listen one more time here.
Upon the waters, wherever you would call me, take me deeper than my feet could ever walk.
I think on your reverb, you need to dial back the decay time a little bit. It's sounding, so I'm looking and I'm seeing that we're not like in a huge room here, but yet it sounds like I'm in a huge stadium. So there's always a balance there to make your reverb sound what you're visually seeing. Otherwise, it just causes a disconnect for the person who's listening. So just look at your reverb decay times. If you're using my strategy of a plate reverb combined with a hall reverb, your plate reverb decay time should be around 2 seconds. You could dial it down to like 1.8 seconds. And then your hall reverb should be around 3 seconds. So if it's a lot higher than that, just dial back that decay time so the reverb doesn't last for so long. But I like your use of reverb. It just is a mismatch a little bit with what I'm seeing.
So visually, I notice a lot of different brightnesses going on in the room in terms of all the different lighting we have. And with that considered, it's looking pretty good. Like you have that one light in the middle above the vocalist, it looks like, and that's brighter than anything else going around them. But it's like when we look at this angle, that lead vocalist there, she's a little blown out, but I can see that you're trying to set the exposure so that everybody's kind of like not dark or not bright. You're trying to just balance it all out. And that's a tricky thing to do. So I think like with what you're working with, it looks pretty good, but preferably I'd probably not want that lead vocalist to be blown out. I'd probably drop the exposure down a little bit. And then I think the cameras as a whole are probably a little on the warm side, but I don't think it's like disgustingly warm or anything. I think it just has kind of a warm vibe. If that's what you're going for, that's cool. So when we go to this congregation shot, I can tell the lighting in the room is warmer than the stage lighting. So it's looking kind of yellowish, orangish. So just keep that in mind. Is that something you want? If not, you can just go adjust the white balance on your cameras, get everything looking a little bit closer. But great job with what you're working with.
Thanks for sending that in. Let's see. Next up, we have from David, Island Community Church. Inconsistent audio and not a very lively sound. So I looked at your YouTube channel and I don't see anything. I didn't find anything with music on it. Unless there's some music here at the end. Let's just find out.
This church would be a church that reaches out in this community, that cares, do not know you as their person. Would you just slip your hand up? Hey, if you'd like to come up front here and just pray, asking you to, I'll finish with this. Church, him do things in your life and it's like, yep, God, I have seen you step up. I have seen you like do things that are miraculous.
Yeah, see, I didn't find any music in your YouTube channel, but I see the preaching and then kind of what happened here in the altar call moment.
God, that we would see you do healing.
But I'm not able to hear the drums or anything
God,
like
we
that.
would
So
see your power, but God, ultimately,
send me a
that
link
we
to
would
where you
see
have some music,
heal.
and then I can give you some feedback.
Did you go to their channel and go to the live tab?
I did.
Weird. Maybe they cut it out or something.
Yeah. So resubmit that with some music, and we'll get that going for you. All right, so next up is Leroy from Calvary Baptist. Just looking for a general review. We are X32 users, but will upgrade to the Wing in early 2025. X32 isn't the most volunteer-friendly board, but we've done a good job trying to get to the same page. That's awesome. We just upgraded to the Wing too.
I see Leroy in the comments. Is that the same one? Is that you, Leroy?
All right, let's listen here. I like how you have the chapters in your live stream. That makes it real easy to find things. You're one of the only churches that have done that in all these live stream reviews we've done. So great job with that.
Come to Bethlehem and see Christ whose birth the angels sing.
All right, so first thing I'm noticing here is you're pushing it too hard with the limiter, because I'm barely having to bring it up and it's already plenty loud enough. So you're pushing out too loud of a live stream, so you can back up on that on those limiter settings, and not limit it so hard. That's the main thing you need to fix here, because it's kind of hard to hear the rest of your mix, because that limiter is kind of destroying this great thing that you've created. I hear a great thing under there. It's just being pushed down too hard. So go adjust the input and output gain on your limiter so it's not limiting so hard. Mainly the input gain. That's the one you want to adjust. So if you're using the precision limiter, like I talk about in the course, decrease your input gain by about probably 3 to 6 dB, somewhere in there. You'll still get a nice loud live stream, but it won't be destroyed by the limiter pushing it down like crazy. So do that, resubmit it, and we'll talk about the details next time. What do you think, Dylan?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on, but we got some magenta in the skin tones, especially that middle gal there. You can see her like highlights of her face are very magenta, but you look at the congregation and it's very green tinted. So I'm assuming that that's like your key lighting is, it just doesn't have a very high CRI, or maybe you're using RGB fixtures, and that's really tough to get good skin tones out of. So there might not be a fix for that with those fixtures, but I would see if, you can fix that either with your lighting or with white balance. But if you drop the tint on your white balance, the congregation is going to look even more green. So we've just got an imbalance going on there. So look into that. You may just need to upgrade your lighting fixtures for your key lights. And if you need any recommendations, you can message me in Slack. But I think that'd really improve the colors of your live stream. But the exposure looks good. I like the different angles you have going on. I like the background. So great job with all that.
And by key lights, he's talking about the white light that's lighting up their faces.
Mm-hmm.
RGB lights are ones that like combine the colors together to make white. You're never going to get a great white color out of that. You have to get lights that are by default white. And ideally, you want them to match or be close to the audience lights as well. So if your audience lights are 3000 Kelvin, you want your stage lights to be somewhere around there. They don't have to be exact, but you don't want like 3000 and 5000.
No. It's a tricky balance because if you have an LED wall on the stage, obviously the white balance of that, if you consider it having a white balance, it's probably going to be close to like 5,000. Like white's going to be pretty blue compared to like a 3,000 Kelvin fixture. So if you're pushing 3,000 onto people's faces and then you have an LED wall behind them, it's going to be pretty blue looking. It's not going to look like it does in person. And then, yeah, you have to consider your congregation lights. I think Pro Church Lights recommends 4,000 for stages. It's a good like balance of cool and warm, not too warm, not too cool. But then you just got to make sure your congregation lights are not too far below 4,000. Like ours probably are. I think our congregation lights are about at 3,000, aren't they?
Yeah.
So 3,000 and 4,000 was a bit of a difference. So I think our normal fixtures are 3,500. So they're a little bit cooler. But it doesn't look too bad. I think 5,000 difference is doable. So consider all that before you buy fixtures. What are the color temperatures you got going on in the room?
Yeah. You mean 500 is a doable difference. You said 5,000.
Yeah, that's what I meant, 500. No, don't do 5,000. Yeah, like 1,000 in the congregation and 6,000 on stage. That'd be nice.
It doesn't even go that low. Candle light's considered what, like 2,200 or something like that?
It'd basically be orange, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for sending that in. Look forward to working with you as we continue going on here. All right. Next up from Alex, Calvary Baptist Church, making sure the feed isn't too loud, causing distortion. All right. Let's take a listen. All right, there is distortion, but the stream is not too loud. So that means the distortion is happening somewhere prior to the actual live stream here. So you need to look at the chain of command here from look at your channels, make sure they're not peaking out and distorting. Look at your live stream bus, make sure it's not peaking out and distorting. Look in your live stream software, whatever you're using, make sure it's not peaking out. Sort like where's the distortion happening? Because it's somewhere down the line, even before it gets to the live stream. Fix the distortion problem, and then bring up your live stream volume because there's not a lot of volume there. I mean, it's almost there. It's not too far off, but you may want to do what we recommended to the previous stream a few streams ago. Send us your setup. Like, let us know how your mixer is connected to your live stream. Like, what's the chain of command so that we can walk you through how to figure out where this volume problem is happening. And let's get that solved before we go on to what's next. But Dylan can comment on visuals.
Everything is just a little bit overexposed, so I would just drop your exposure on everything the same amount, and I think you'll have a good looking stream.
Rock and roll. Thank you. We got one left. And this is from Michael at Grace Community Church in Oregon. Our live stream mix is a submix front of house groups, which gives us very little control. Let's see. You're using the wing. Awesome. Let's take a listen.
Joy to the world, the hope is given. He is the Son of heaven. Behold.
Hello, bass
Can you
guitar.
stand with us? We're going to sing that all again. This is a new song that we want to teach you. A starry night. Let's sing together. A starry night, a newborn king. Hark the herald angels singing. Holy.
Really good musicians and vocalists. I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
Humbled in a manger lay, that God had three in one displayed his glory. Glory. Behold him.
I think I hear some vocal tuning going on in there. It sounds good though.
Joy to the world.
You have a good mix going on here. I'm having to really boost the volume though. So like you need some more volume out of your live stream, but yet it sounds like it's being super compressed. Like we could let off on the compression just a little bit to bring some more life back to the mix. So just kind of look through your chain of command once again and see where you're compressing somewhere down the line before we even get to the volume piece. So I'd be interested to find out where that is. Let up on the compression just a little bit, but yet squeeze some more volume out of it all at the same time. So if you want our help with that as well, you can send to us how you're getting from the wing to your live stream, and we can figure out where that needs to happen. We'd be happy to do that. The other thing that I would listen for is it was missing some. The mix sounded great, but there was kind of like a hole in it somewhere, like somewhere in the midsection, 500 hertz to a kilohertz or somewhere like that. Like the top end sounded really nice, the bottom end sounded really nice, but there was some midsection that was missing. It was a section that would normally be filled in by the piano or the electric guitar or a mixture of both. Your piano was kind of playing in the upper register, so in this song, she wasn't going to fill in that space. So maybe it's just bring that electric guitar up a little bit to fill in the mids. But even if you didn't do that, this is a great sounding mix. That's just me being nitpicky.
I can even really hear the electric guitar. It looks like he's playing higher up though.
Good use of ambience and reverb though. That is spot on. It sounds great.
Great job. Visually, I don't have anything to say. I just say watch the overexposure on that camera that's pointing from the right side of the stage. That's the only thing I noticed. Great job with your visuals.
If you're wanting more control out of the mix, you said you're using subgroups, and so you can only like mix the different subgroups. There's really no need to go in from channels to subgroups to your bus mix. You can get a great live stream mix just going straight from channels to your live stream bus. So just eliminate the subgroups in your live stream and you'll have a lot more control. You'll still set everything to post fader so that it follows what's going on in your room, but that'll give you a lot more control if you're looking for that control. Like maybe that's why the electric guitar is not loud enough in the live stream, because you can't turn it up specifically in the live stream. Well, that's how you could solve that problem. Just set up a post fader bus mix for your live stream, and then you have plenty of control.
Very nice.
Awesome.
We got through that pretty quick. Why don't we go review our stream from yesterday or Sunday?
Okay.
2 days ago.
Would this be your handiwork, Dylan?
Partially. I've been trying to fine tune a few things. I'll tell you one thing that got missed on the second song. Lead vocalist had more hall verb than plate, so it's pretty wide.
All right, here we go. No Limitus Church.
Limitus.
All right, so background guy needs to come down, and also backing tracks need to come down. And I think that would make that mix make sense.
Yeah, go to song 2.
Agree on that verb. It's a little too heavy there on her.
Come on, sing it out, every hand. Oh, we worship you, Jesus. Oh, you bring good news to our lives.
I think overall the reverb needs to come down in the stream.
I think it might be the ambient mics.
Yeah, so just overall, too much ambience in our mix last Sunday. So I think ambient mics need to come down and reverb needs to come down a little bit, which goes to show you like the balance. Getting that right is a challenge.
It's tricky.
It's tricky, but it can be done. And it's hard to get that right, especially when you're mixing the live stream in the room. You got a pair of headphones on. You're hearing what's going on in the room. You're trying to get it right. Sometimes the only way to get things right is to listen to it after the fact. Be like, well, too much. So next Sunday, we're going to dial that back a little bit and try again.
For sure. We got a lot of different variables that we're testing out right now too, so it's kind of a crapshoot with some stuff, trying to get things dialed in. It's looking way too dark this Sunday. I think the ISO got set to the wrong setting for worship. Go to the message. I think it was probably better for that. We got a lot of upgrades coming, like we got more camera angles coming soon and a new encoder and all that good stuff. So it's going to be looking a lot better here soon, because here lately it's just been the one angle, just kind of giving everybody what they need to see. But we're going to be putting a little more effort into the visuals of the live stream coming up. So I'll be making some content about that. That'll be fun.
Be a good time.
Good time.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being with us in these live stream reviews. Good time as always. And now you even got to see that our live stream's not perfect either. We're making changes and then sometimes finding out those changes weren't what we had hoped they would be, and then going back and
communicating with our volunteers.
Yeah, communicating with our volunteers.
So me and Kate are not running sound on Sunday. We're doing other things.
Yep. But anyway, we can all get better together. So glad we did this. Glad you're with us. If you want your live stream reviewed, go get access to our courses. You can get access to everything for as low as $29 a month. So it's easy to get in there. It's affordable. And we would love to have you. You'd be joining over 13,000 students from 7,500 churches in 53 different countries. I mean, this is like the Great Sound Worldwide collab. We want to make it easy for you to create great sound. Our courses break it down for you in the simplest way possible. You're not going to waste a lot of time in our courses. You're just going to be able to jump in and learn what you need to learn. And it's also a great way to get newbies up and running quickly. You can take somebody from newbie to confident behind the mixer in as little as 8 weeks without overwhelming them, all with our courses. So go check those out. We'd love for you to be a part. And if you're already a student, make sure you're making the most of your courses. Don't just let them sit there. Actually go watch them and implement what you learn, because that's how you're going to see the results from it.
Sweet.
And ask us questions if you need to. We're always available on Slack. You can schedule coaching calls, things like that. We'd be happy to help you. But until next time, we'll do these live stream reviews again next month. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Don't overwhelm yourself with everything going on at church this month.
A lot going on.
There's a lot going on, but it'll be good. Enjoy your families. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Deuces.